Has it finally started?
Morning.
I've been waiting here since 8:30. I'm not joking.
Why? What are you doing?
I don't know. I did your flip grid.
You already did it?
Yes.
What'd
You
you
were
do?
editing the paper and I did it. I calculated the cost of ramen. It's scary how much that stuff costs. 13 cents a packet. Someone did the math. Guess how much money it would cost if you literally lived off ramen? Keep in mind, 3 square meals a day. Guess how much?
How much? Like $200
100
a year?
$145.65
Per what?
for eating ramen entire year.
For the whole year. Okay. That's what I was
Yes,
wondering.
3 square meals a day.
That's pretty crazy.
13 cents. It's scary.
Yeah. Well, you'd have some serious health issues if you ate ramen every day for a year.
Well, I mean, depending on what you put in it, if you put in what I put in, cabbage, if you actually boil it, not microwave it, and if you actually have cabbage, chicken, soy sauce, other things.
Oh, yeah. You're in much
Yeah.
better shape if you're adding those things.
So,
How you been, Henry?
good. I'm sorry I missed Monday's Zoom meeting. I forgot that I had to look on this page to get the invite. So
Oh,
I felt really bad.
that's okay. We just did some review and then talked about the test. So, good morning, Robbie.
Morning.
How are you?
I'm good.
Good. I'm gonna get the problem of the day up. So let's. Sharing is paused. All right. There you guys go. Robbie and Henry, how's the erging been going?
Terrible.
Pretty good. For me, it's okay.
Why is it terrible, Henry?
I live with an older brother. I'm pretty sure you know this. My older brother is very big on working out, and we have a personal gym in our basement.
Oh.
Apparently it's a very nice gym. I don't really, work out, so it doesn't really faze me, but we have a lot of equipment. But he'll just spend 3 hours working out, and I need to do that time. So, he'll be doing something. Also, he uses chalk. So I have to wipe down all the equipment every single day because it just has a ton of chalk on it.
We're part of our schedule today is a erg workout. So
Fun. Yeah,
we're gonna have a circuit. We're gonna have a circuit day today.
Yeah, I didn't do the right workout yesterday. It was supposed to be 12. It was supposed to be intervals, and it was 45 seconds on and then a minute off. But you had to go 40 full pressure to 45. I misread it. I thought it was 45 seconds full pressure and then steady state. It was off. So screwed me over.
That's tough. All right, you guys work on that. I'm gonna grab some coffee. Hopefully we get a couple more guys on here. Where is everybody? It's already 9:30.
I already have my cup.
Let's see if anyone's emailing saying, what's the link? It said that this morning you guys were supposed to have to wait in a waiting room, that they were changing
Yes,
Zoom,
we did. Yeah, it was. You had to sit in a room.
but I
It was
didn't like accept you in, so I wonder.
probably you. How long have you been in the conference call for?
Like 2 minutes. I mean, just right whenever I logged in to talk to you.
Oh,
I logged in
well,
and you were there.
yeah, I know. I've been waiting. I told you.
I know, but I'm curious because Zoom emailed last night and said from now on you'll have to accept your students in. So I don't know what's going on there. Good morning, Owen.
The I don't know how that would.
Owen, are you there? Good morning.
Yeah. Good morning.
How are you?
Howdy.
I'm good.
Good. Oh, and we're just doing the warm up while we wait for the rest of the guys.
Okay.
This is Samick.
What's up?
This fortifies my theory. Why would you spend $150 per month when you could spend $146 per year on top ramen?
um, Eating top ramen every day might make you crazy. You need variety in your life. All right, let me email Z. He's looking for the
Dogs
code.
eat dog food every day. Cats eat cat food. We're animals.
I mean, Henry, you can give it a try, and you can see how.
I've tested it.
Yeah. I mean, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, life would be pretty boring. And I still think you need some variety in your nutrition. I mean, if you were really mixing it up, and you were not eating the packet every day, like
Oh
if
yeah.
you had some, like, because that's just way too much sodium.
Oh yeah. If you didn't eat the packet, then yes, you would survive.
Yeah, but I
But
mean, you'd have to add some other vegetables and like make sure you're getting enough protein and. But I don't know.
or you just crush up vitamins and then sprinkle them over.
Gross.
That, that's what
I'd
some
rather get my vitamins from a sweet potato or a pepper or a tomato than
top
from
ramen.
from top ramen with sprinkled vitamins. I'm gonna shoot a quick email out to the guys. Can you still see the screen?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna email everybody. I don't know where everybody is. right. Well, we will get started, and hopefully we'll get a couple more guys in here soon. If not, then they'll just have to watch this video later. So what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about some kind of real life math using some of the skills that we've already learned this year. And I'll talk a little bit more about why in a second. So let's start with POD number 1. If we are talking about the cost per ounce of the cost per ounce of the cereal, what would you need to do to calculate that cost per ounce? Henry?
Would you?
Oh,
Henry, was that you raising your hand?
yes, I was.
Yeah, okay. What would you have to do?
Divide
Yeah, what division would you need to do?
long division.
Well, like, I'm sorry, what two numbers would you need to divide?
Oh, 3.79 and then 10.5.
Okay. Where'd that 10.5 come from, Henry?
That's how many ounces are in the Lucky Charms
That's
unicorn packet.
how many ounces are in the Lucky Charms. All right. So who has actually done this calculation? Robbie, did you do the calculation?
I didn't.
Didn't?
I
Oh,
Would it? Hold on.
okay. Or Robbie, did you do it now?
Hold on.
I
I
have.
did it.
Hold
But,
on. Give him a chance, man.
No, I did it wrong.
Oh, you did it wrong.
I did 10.5 divided by 3.
Oh, okay. Robbie's frozen now. All right. Owen or Joe, do you have a calculation for me?
I got
Would it be
0.36.
1.36? No.
0.36.
Oh, 0.36.
Yeah, that's the same thing I got.
Okay, good. So that means that the servings per ounce, so 1 ounce of Lucky Charms would cost you 36 cents. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't really think in my life, like, oh, I wonder how many ounces this bowl is, right? So what they give us instead is on the nutritional label, they also give us how many servings of Lucky Charms are in a box. So this is saying, like, for your average cereal eater, okay, there are 11 servings in this box of Lucky Charms. So for the purposes of the project we're about to dive into, we're going to think more about, good morning, guys. Let's see, we've got
Howdy.
Luke. Good morning, Luke. And who's
Hey,
is this? Is it Jamarian? Is he in here somewhere?
It's
Yeah.
just muted.
yeah, he's muted.
Oh, well, good morning. Welcome. Let's unmute you guys. Oh, he just muted himself back. Okay. All right. Jamarian, good morning. Hello? All right.
Hey,
All right.
you should have a mic.
Oh, there he is. There's his face. Good morning. It's so good to see you live in class. So glad you're here. And Luke made it this morning. All right, we're killing it this morning. All right. So guys, we were just talking a little bit about cereal and the cost per serving. So if we've got this box of Lucky Charms and there are 11 servings in the box, what math would I do here to figure out the cost per serving? Joe, what do you think I would do here?
Divide. Oh wait, no.
Yeah, you're gonna divide
Yeah.
again. What number is gonna be on top? What am I gonna put in my calculator first?
11.
We want the
No.
cost. How much? We want our
Oh, I didn't do
dollars.
that. Oh,
Yeah,
my
so we'll do our dollars first. 3.79 divided by our 11
bad.
serving.
11, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So for those of you just joining us, you need a piece of paper and maybe a calculator. You could use your phone calculator. You can use your Chromebook calculator, but we're going to do these with a calculator today. We're not going to do long division on this. So who's got it for me? Jamarian,
0.34.
0.34. Right. So that means that it's costing you just for the cereal 34 cents per bowl of Lucky Charms. Now, I am willing to bet that for a lot of you guys, their one bowl of Lucky Charms would really be like 2 bowls for you guys, or 3 bowls, right? But we're going to do this based on what they say the serving size is. Now, you'll notice I put this little brown box over these things because if you look online, they actually tell you these numbers, but they tell you your unit cost or your cost per ounce, because what that does is it empowers consumers to make comparisons, to figure out which one's a better deal. So looking at a price tag is only going to take you so far of deciding if that is a good value or not a good value. All right, so hopefully by the end of this experience, you will kind of understand more of how to decide if something is a good deal or not a good deal. All right, and we're going to get into that a little bit more here in a moment. All right, so the next slide I want to talk about, does anyone want to ask about cost per serving before I continue? And we're going to do a little bit more about that in the slides to come. All right, so the next POD was that if you spend $150 on groceries, and 45 of those dollars are snacks, right? I've noticed that especially right now, it's really easy to throw extra snacks in the cart. But we'll just imagine, you got your Doritos and your pistachios and your Cheetos and your frozen Totinos. What percent of your spending would be on snacks? So how do you figure this out? What do you do? Henry, how would you set it up?
You divide 45 divided by 150, and it would.
45 divided by 150. Okay.
Yeah,
So I'm putting the part over the total. All right. And if I do that, I want you guys, like I have my calculator right here. I want you on your phone to actually do that calculation. So if you haven't, what's up?
First of all, can I explain it?
Well, let's give everyone a second to calculate it first, and then you can explain. All right, so take your calculator, and you're actually going to put in 45 divided by 150. All right, so I'm putting those numbers in my calculator. 45 divided by 150. All right.
30%.
0.3.
0.3. All right.
Would it be like 30%?
Yeah, that would be 30%. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to move it 2 spots. Henry, if I wanted to mathematically do that on my calculator, if I forgot which way to move it, what could I do?
First of all, you could just do first of all 150. To get the answer, 45 is like 1/3 of 150 because 45 is right next to 5, so it's gonna be less than 3 if you think about it. So it's not quite 1/3 of it, but it's almost there. So it's gonna be in that ballpark. So if you get, 0.666, repeat them, and that's it.
Sorry. Lucy, shh. It's the mailman every day. All right. Yeah, Henry, that's a good mental math exercise you just did there. All right. So we'd be a little bit less than 1/3, so a little less than 0.33. For those of you that have forgotten how to change a decimal to a percent, I take my decimal and I multiply by 100. All right. And that would give me my 30%. If you are spending 30% of your grocery budget on snacks, you got to take a step back and say that might be too much on snacks. And I might need to reassess what I'm spending my grocery money on each month. All right. That's just a little life lesson. So this next unit, well, it's not a unit. We're just going to do a project, and it's all going to be about it's a good life lesson project. All right. So we're going to use some real life math here. Okay, so we'll do a couple more of these later in the lesson. All right, so today is about percents in real life. All right, we have today, Thursday, Friday, and then we have Monday. So we have today, Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday before spring break. All right, and for spring break, we don't have school that Thursday, Friday, and then the whole next week. All right, and so there will be no live classes that week. All right, it is spring break. It is time to chill. All right. I'm sure you've heard by now the governor has announced that those schools will be open until at least May 1st. All right, so what I have planned is that we will use these next few days to do kind of a unique unit, a real life project. And then once we come back from spring break, we'll dive back into the next unit of the algebra curriculum, which is inequalities. All right, so we're going to take a little time out and we're going to apply what we've learned in about percents and ratios, and we're going to apply that to real life. And hopefully what I hope you think is a fun project. I've been working really hard on it for the past couple days, and that's why it just went live this morning, because I've been putting the finishing touches on it. So I'll walk you through that project at the end of class today. You'll get to see the whole thing. And then I'll take any questions you have about the project. But the project is going to be about food and thinking about food and about money and how to assess your costs. All right, so I'm going to unmute you guys. Henry has a question. Go ahead, Henry.
For the project, will we get to make said food?
You will have the option to make said food for bonus points. Okay, so you'll have to do the math, a lot of math, and then I do have a bonus point opportunity for you at the end of the project. And so we'll go over that today. So first of all, business. I am pretty sure everybody on this list who is in class today, I got your tests. A lot of those tests rolled in at like 4:55 p.m. last night. So I haven't gone through my whole checklist to make sure. I'll be harassing anybody that hasn't turned in their test. So if I haven't heard from you, you'll hear from me today or tomorrow. I kind of started going through them real quickly, the ones that were coming in early, and they were looking really good. So I'm really excited about those. Nice job. I don't know why the PowerSchool link didn't work to submit. That was my first attempt at submitting something online. Can any of you guys give me insight? Like what did I do wrong to submit online? Jamarian, tell me.
Okay, so first, I just have a question.
Okay.
I feel like it was more on that test, because like when I was looking on the test, I felt like something was missing.
That what?
It's like something part of the test was missing.
Oh, like
when
on
I was looking at,
PowerSchool?
no, like the actual test, I felt like part of it was missing. I don't know what was going on, because like when I was looking at the questions, it was like 2 questions.
There were only like 2 questions? Is that what you said, Jamarian?
You know, like it's questions weren't there. It's the questions wasn't there.
There were, okay, so there should have been, I think there were 12 questions total. There were 12 slides. Did you not see 12 questions on yours? And Jamarian, why don't you, because you're coming in and out, your sound, so why don't you?
No, it didn't seem like 12.
Jamarian, I can see your lips moving, but I can't. Oh, it did seem like 12? Yeah, that's all there was. There were 12 questions. That was it. So if you did those 12 questions and then there was a reflection, I asked you like, what do you think about this test? If you did those 12 and then you did the reflection, oh, it didn't seem like 12. I'll check. Jamarian, did you submit yours? Yes, you submitted it. No, you didn't. Because I can take a look at what you submitted and see if you had all the things on your submission. I sent it through email. Okay, I'll take a look, Jamarian. And if you're missing something, I will email you. But I mean, it was only one question per slide, and there were 12 slides. So I'll take a look at yours today when we get off the phone here.
Miss Samick,
Owen, is that you?
in Power School, you know the flip grid that we had to do where we had to explain the problem?
Yeah, did I not mark yours?
Yeah, it's counted as missing right now.
Okay, I'll fix that. I thought about that
Thank
much
you.
later. All right. Hopefully, Owen, yours works this time around now that
Yeah.
Flipgrid's gotten their act together. Henry.
I'd like to say something about the test that we took yesterday. My one problem with it was like it was so hard to put down the equation and actually solve it and show steps. In my opinion, it'd be much easier, and this may be harder for other people, but you send out a link or a packet, you say, of a test. Then they actually have to print it out, and then they do it. Then they just take pictures of the pages through their phone.
And yeah, that you could do that. That would be fine, Henry. If you wanted to print out, so like for me, I never have printer ink. I have a printer. I use it like once a year, so I never have ink. So I know at least at my house, if my kids were asked to print something, we'd be screwed. So, but if you have printer ink at your house and you want to print it and do that, Henry, that is totally fine. You are totally welcome to do that. That would be fine. You could just send pictures and that'd be fine. Anything else about tests? Oh, Jamarian, I'm reading what you said now. All right. So Jamarian, if there are missing questions, I'll have you just go back and you can finish it. And that's fine. I'm not going to penalize you for that. All right. Okay. Then let's, and I could send pictures. Yeah. You can put pictures on the slides if you want. You could do it that way. That's the way I think I would do it if I were a student, because that would be the easiest way for me to write my work. So yeah, you can definitely do it that way. All right, so I'm gonna go through a few things. I'm gonna mute you guys for a second. If you need to unmute yourself, you can, just dive in. I don't know, who's not muted? That's weird. All right, okay, so let's take a look. So today, part of your project that you're gonna be working on is looking at unit cost. And unit cost, what we just saw with the Lucky Charms box, is the cost for one item in a package based on how that package is measured. So if you are measuring things in ounces, your unit cost would be cost per ounce. If you're measuring things in liters, it'd be cost per liter. So I'm going to take a look at two examples. We're going to take a look at some eggs. And on this problem, they are measuring eggs in ounces. But for our sake, there's the eggs per ounce, cost per ounce for eggs, but we don't really think about that when we think about an egg. If I was talking about what's the cost of an egg, would you tell me the cost of an ounce of an egg, or what would you tell me instead?
Per egg.
Per egg, okay? So I don't really want to talk about ounces of eggs in this case. Let's just talk about the cost per egg. So if these organic eggs are costing you $4.99, and so we're not going to do unit cost in this one. We're going to do cost per egg instead. So the Giant Eagle website tells me it's 21 cents per ounce, but I want to actually figure out how much does it cost for one egg. So what math would I need to do to figure out the cost per egg if I buy a dozen eggs? Luke, what do you think we would need to do? What would we need to divide by? How many eggs are in a dozen? Luke, are you with me? Yeah. All right. Owen, how many eggs are in a dozen?
12.
12. So I'm going to divide by 12. So in this case, how much does it cost per egg for these organic eggs?
Hold on.
I should really do.
41 cents.
Yeah, about 41 cents. I'll say 42, I'll round up. So 42 cents per egg. Okay. 21 cents per ounce doesn't really help me when I'm thinking about costs. So 42 cents per egg for organic eggs. So what if I instead just go with the good old Giant Eagle eggs, right? $1.99 for 12 eggs. That's the way I usually shop. I'm looking for the best deal. So what's the cost of one non-organic egg? I'll take my $1.99. And Giant Eagle on the website, you can see, well, I can't point with my pen. You can see they tell you. So I just blocked it off. So the answer wasn't sitting there in front of you. I'm making you do the math. If I take my $1.99 and divide by 12 instead for those non-organic eggs, Henry, what's the cost of those non-organic eggs per egg?
Give me a second.
Oh, okay.
Uh, 16 cents per egg.
Yeah, 16.5, so I'll go about 17 cents per egg.
Yeah, about 17 cents.
Okay, so you can see that's a big difference on organic versus non-organic costs. When you're just talking about pennies, you know, like in cents, but like when you're talking about big scale, if you're always buying all organic, I mean that it is a big difference. It's so this is just for our egg example, 17 cents versus 42 cents per egg. All right. So let's talk about the unit cost for a loaf of bread. Lucy.
Understandable. Have a nice day.
Hey, I'm trying to teach here. Come here. All right. So let's talk about the unit cost for a loaf of bread and how much one slice of bread costs. All right. So those are two different questions, right? How much is the unit cost for a loaf of bread? If I take my $2.39 and I'm dividing by how many ounces are in this loaf of bread? How many ounces? 22 ounces. So that's that label there. So I'm going to take my 2.39 divided by 22. And how much is the unit cost for this loaf of bread? Owen, what do you got?
About 10 cents.
Yeah,
Maybe
about
11 cents.
About 11 cents. 11 cents per ounce. All right. But I'm going to actually take a look at how much it costs per serving. So there's actually 20, in each serving is one piece of bread. All right. One slice of bread. And there's 24 slices of bread. So I could say that's 2.39 divided by 24. Oh, I keep making equal signs. 2.39 divided by 24. And so that's about 10 cents per slice. So thinking about that, like think about if you go to a store and buy a sandwich, right? What's your average cost of a sandwich at a sandwich shop?
$5.
$5, great estimate, right? It's about $5 for a sandwich when you go to the store. But if you make your sandwich at home, you're only paying 20 cents for bread, right? 10 cents per slice. So that's 10 cents and 10 cents. And if you played this game with your meat and your mayonnaise. Your mayonnaise would probably end up being like a penny or 2 pennies, depending on how much mayonnaise you put on and from your big jar of mayonnaise. You know, you're going to be under $1 to make yourself a sandwich at home. All right. So eating out is one of my very favorite things to do in life. However, when you are trying to save money and you are first, living on your own, it's a tough reality when you realize that you really need to be cooking at home to save yourself some cash. Especially when sandwiches are so good when somebody else makes them for you. All right, but you're only paying 20 cents for bread. Same thing with a breakfast sandwich, right? If you go to McDonald's and you get McDonald's is pretty cheap, but if you go somewhere else and you're getting a breakfast sandwich and you're paying $4 for an egg that costs you, what was it, 17 cents for an egg and 10 cents for slices of bread. So that's 20 cents and 17 cents. That's pretty cheap if you make yourself an egg sandwich versus go buy an egg sandwich somewhere. All right. So, yes, Henry?
I'm not disagreeing with you on the fact that eating out is cheap. Eating in is cheaper, but you have to take into consideration actual utilities to make said stuff. Maybe sandwiches aren't the best example, but like my example earlier, top ramen, one of the cheapest things you need a stove, you need a pot, you need a stirring spoon, you need a bowl to put it in. You need a lot more than just, but when you do acquire those things, it does become cheaper. It's your upfront cost. This is kind of comparing it to another thing. It's your upfront cost that costs a lot, but then it goes down, and then what eating out, it's a steady slide.
And that's a good point, Henry. I am making an assumption in this project that we're about to look at that you have some of those things already. So you have your pots and pans, and those are expensive when you first are starting out. I just packed up a bunch. I have an old coworker who's just starting grad school and moving to Boston, so I packed her up some pots and pans and things because those are expensive. They add up, and I had an extra set in my house. So yeah, those things are expensive, but I am assuming that you have those things for this project. So people love places like Costco, right, and Sam's Club, and that idea of buying in bulk, all right, that idea of buying a bigger box. It's really the question of why is that a bigger deal? So for this problem, we're not going to do the calculation. I actually left the price per ounce. And this is always on the label at the grocery store as well. Okay, when you go to the grocery store, you can see the price per ounce, so you can make comparisons and you can compare between brands. This box of Cheerios, right? This is 8.9 ounces, and this one's 20 ounces. You can see it says the giant size, right? The giant size is more expensive, right? Because there's more, but your price per ounce is smaller, right? So if you buy the bigger box, you are getting a better, what we call a better bang for your buck, right? It's only 26 cents per ounce versus the smaller box, you're paying more per serving. So that's why places like Costco and Sam's Club are pretty popular in terms of people saving money by buying in what they say buying in bulk. Now that assumes a lot of things about your house, about the cash you have to go buy in bulk. I don't have space to put 100 rolls of toilet paper, nor do I want to have 100 rolls of toilet paper in my house, or 5 boxes of Cheerios. But a lot of families make those choices that have that pantry, have a big family, and that's a better deal in the long run when you buy in bulk. All right. So with that, we're going to do 2 more problems like POD number 3. I just want to make sure everyone has this concept down about percentages. I want you to just try these 2% problems. Make sure we're all on board. And then we'll dive into the project. So go ahead and take a look at these 2. You're going to find some percentages. So the first one, if your rent is $800 a month and you make $2,000 per month at your job, what percent of your income is spent on rent? And if you spend $200 in groceries and you spend $30 on pizza, what percent of your spending is spent on pizza?
Miss Samick, I have the answer.
All right, just hold on. We're gonna make sure everyone has a chance to think about it. Robbie, can you give us a setup for the first one?
Yeah, I got 2.5 for the first one.
All right, what was your setup?
I divided 2,800 and I got 2.5.
Okay, so when we are doing percent problems, we're gonna think about our part over our total. So rent is this one part of the expense, right? Your total you have per month is $2,000. So we want to find out what part of 2,000 is 800. So when I do that, I'm going to have 800 go into my calculator first. All right, because that's the part of that 2,000 total. So when I do that, I end up with 0.4.
I tried it both ways.
Yep. Okay.
So
let's see. So when we get that 0.4, Robbie, why didn't you like the 0.4?
it just kind of seemed a little bit small, so I tried it the other way.
Okay, yeah, because it seems
Negative
small.
one.
That's a
Yeah.
good, I'm glad you're thinking about that answer. When you have a decimal and you want to turn it into a percent, what do you need to do with that decimal?
You need to move it to
You
the left. Actually, no, the right.
So, right. Yeah, and I can think of that as multiply by 100. If that confuses you, which way do I move it? Just say to yourself, I'm going to multiply this thing by 100, and then you would see that that's 40%. Okay. So, gentlemen, in real life, 40% on rent is pretty high. All right. You don't want to be pushing over 30% for rent prices. Which is a really hard thing for people in their 20s. They want to live alone. They want to live in cool apartments. And those apartments just take up way too much of your income, right? That's the time you should be saving. And if you live alone, it's expensive. Cool apartments are expensive. So if you someday are looking at rent and rent is taking up 40% of your monthly income, then you got to take a step back and say, I probably can't afford this place. All right. So you definitely want to be around 30% or lower on that rent percentage. All right. That's my life lesson for you today. All right. These are numbers to think about someday when you are on your own. All right. So my $200 on groceries, I spent $30 on pizza. Scene Magazine had the top 150 frozen pizzas in their ranking. So I bought a couple of them at Target. I didn't spend $30 on pizza, but I did spend at least, I think, 15 on pizza. All right. Henry, what'd you get for this one?
15%.
All right.
Also,
This isn't.
I have a recommendation for frozen pizza.
Oh, yeah?
If you ever go to Menards, they have this stuff called Jack's Pizza.
Oh,
It's
okay.
completely organic, and it's like $1.50 for one slice, and it's normally like $5 at Target. Very good deal.
Good tip. I love a good deal. I love a good deal. Okay.
Also,
So there is our percent for our 15% on pizza. Maybe when you're 22, you can spend 15% of your budget on pizza. I wouldn't recommend it again, but hey, that's not terrible. All right. So with that, you are going to use all of these skills in the project we're going to do. So I'm going to stop sharing my iPad, and I'm going to share instead the project screen. And I just want to walk you through this project. So the link is now in our Google Doc. So I just keep posting everything to the Google Doc. That way you don't have to, if PowerSchool's down, it doesn't matter. Well, that's my homeschool page. Okay. So here's our fundamentals weekly update. These are the slides we just did. And now I've got the food budget project link in here. And that'll link you to this. All right, this project has, the goal of this project is for you to imagine you are 22, just out of college, right, and living on your own. When you're 22, you'll probably have roommates, or maybe you'll live with your parents again, I don't know. But you will be living, for this project, you're living on your own, buying your own food. And what if you were in the situation that we're in right now? We have to be at home. You're not supposed to be out. And you're supposed to limit the number of times you go to the grocery store. So if you want to do that, you have to really think ahead about what you want to make for your family, or for yourself in this case. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to look at the cost of food and make a plan for food. All right? So what you're going to do today or tomorrow or Friday is on Flipgrid, there's a little mini lesson on what we just sort of did with the cost of bread, the cost of eggs. You're going to have to think about something in your house. I did an example on Flipgrid using cereal and milk. That's a very classic breakfast for many people. I figured out how much does a bowl of cereal cost? And I walked you through that example on Flipgrid. So you'll go there and then you'll make your own on Flipgrid. You'll have to find 2 things in your house, or you could make a meal that involves more than 2 things, but 2 things is the minimum on that one. And you'll make your Flipgrid, and that's due Friday. So I'm on that screen right there. Oops. Friday, April 3rd. That'll be due, and that's on Flipgrid. Okay. The second part is you're going to imagine yourself in this 4-week quarantine where you have to make yourself breakfast, lunch, dinner. You have to wash your hands and your hair and go to the bathroom. So you need supplies. So on the bottom down here, okay, at the bottom of this Google Sheet are tabs. And the second tab is the meal plan. So you're gonna have to say, okay, on these days, I'm gonna eat toast and eggs. On these days, I'm gonna eat cereal. But you have to imagine being a little more creative than eating cereal and milk every day. All right, and you're gonna fill it in. You're gonna say, okay, on Sunday, I'm gonna eat eggs and toast. On Monday, I'm gonna eat cereal. On Tuesday, I'm gonna eat cereal. On Wednesday, I'm gonna eat whatever. So you're gonna just kind of make a general plan for yourself on what you're gonna eat. And that is part 2. So part 2 is just thinking about the food. At the bottom here, I've put some other things you're gonna need in your house. You're gonna need toilet paper, you're gonna need hand soap, things that are going to run out. You don't have to do I mean, you can go with laundry detergent and things like that. But I want you to think of a few basic necessities you would need. If you're 22 and you think you would have a dog, then make sure you buy that dog food. All right. So it's up to you if you love dogs or love cats or you want to have a bird or whatever you want to have.
10-17.
Dream big. All right. But pets are expensive, so keep that in mind. All right. So for Friday, you have 2 things you need to do. You need to do the Flipgrid, and I made a sample video on Flipgrid last night in my kitchen. And you need to do this meal plan. All right. Before you even get started, make sure you go to share. Oh, don't do that yet. You are going to make a copy, right? I'm going to say, this is the Joe Keller's food budget project. All right. And then hit OK. And then you're going to share it with me. All right. I don't know why I can't figure out the Power School turning in, but if I do, we could turn it in there, but whatever. There's only 16 of you. I'm not as concerned about that. As long as I have it, you'll be good.
This is due Friday, right?
Just the Flipgrid's due Friday, and the meal plan is due Friday. And then next week in class on Monday, I'm going to teach you guys more about Google Sheets. Because Google Sheets, I am telling you, Excel spreadsheets, Google Sheets are game changers for life, right? They are such great ways you can organize yourself and be financially responsible and understand your finances. And if you have any interest in going into science, if you have any interest in going into statistics, if you have any interest into going into business, accounting, finance, anything. My sister hates math, but she's in charge of marketing for all the concerts in Cleveland, and she uses Excel spreadsheets all the time. So the Excel does the math for her, but you need to tell Excel what kind of math you want to do. So Excel is just the Microsoft version of Google Sheets. So we'll use Google Sheets. In part 3 is you are actually going to do a Google Sheet where you're going to make your list of groceries. What do you actually need to buy if you're eating cereal? You need to buy a box of Cheerios, whatever you're going to buy. You're going to buy those things. And then you are going to, if you're going to eat cereal like 20 times, then you're probably going to need 2 boxes of cereal. So I might say, this is my cereal category. I am buying Cheerios. And I'm going to do more of this with you guys on Monday. I'm going to show you all of this part on Monday. Size, the 20-ounce box. I need 2. And then I'm going to teach you how to use, and this costs like $3.49. And I'm going to teach you how to not use your calculator to do this, right? Excel will calculate these costs for you so you don't have to do it. So that's what I'm going to teach you how to do on Monday. And then you will work on this tab on Monday. I'm going to teach you how to do graphs and charts on Excel. So you can then break it down and see where you're spending your money. And that is going to be part 3. And then part 4, I'm going to ask you to do and then on the part 4 tab, I had all these different names for this before. All right. So you'll go to the part 4 tab, and then you're just going to answer some questions like, what did you learn from this project? Okay. So next week, April 8th, the last day we have official class, is when those sheets will be due, when those tabs will be due. So the one that involves all the like math, we will work on Monday in class. And then you can answer the reflection questions. And then I do have a bonus for you. I wanted to make everybody do this, but I thought that might be pushing it. I think it could be really fun and a really easy way to earn some bonus points. So it's 15 bonus points for a test. These are test bonus points. For the bonus, you need to find a recipe online or a recipe at your house, like maybe your mom or dad or auntie or grandma or whoever you live with has a recipe that you want to learn how to make. You need to find some recipe. There's so many things online. And then you're going to list all the ingredients and figure out how much it costs to make that recipe. Still using, for this exercise, you're going to have to use like a Giant Eagle Instacart or some grocery website. You could use the Walmart website or the Dave's Market website, wherever you grocery shop. So you can, for 10 points, do all the math. And then for an extra 5 bonus points for a test, remember that would bump you 2 letter grades on a test. Make a video of you making the food item. Okay. And so then you could put it all on this tab. You could write everything. You're gonna have to make your table and link your video either to Google Drive or YouTube. You're gonna put that all here, or you could do it somewhere else and just send me the link for that if you want to do it in a PowerPoint or whatever. Prezi.
When is this due?
So if you want to do the bonus, like making the thing, will be due the Friday of break. Since it's bonus, you could do it before break, or you could do it. I just figure it could be something you could do during break if you wanted to make something during break. But I'd like to have it by April 17th so I can grade them those last 2 days of break before then we start back again. Okay. And if that's like a problem, like I'll take them after, like let me know, but I'd like you to just get it done. Don't let it linger.
Okay.
And then when we get back from break, then we'll start our new part of our new unit, which is inequalities. That was a lot. So the only 2 parts that are due Friday are the flip grid and making your plan. And then from there, we'll talk more about parts 3 and 4. Part 3 and 4 are the parts that involve all the math. So we'll dive into that more on Monday. Would anybody like to ask any questions now?
Can I leave?
Can you leave? Yeah, you can leave. Anybody want to ask any questions?
I've been sitting in this chair for 2 hours.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Oh, everyone's bouncing. Luke, do you have any questions?
No, that's it.
Okay. All right. Well, then I will see you guys on Monday. And if you need anything before then, let me know. Bye.